The change for that patient is so great that when we take their patch off the following morning, they can suddenly see again and they jump to their feet and they do a little hula dance. So that's very rewarding. And we can see the need that has been fulfilled, and we feel very happy about it. So his right eye had an operation back in 2011, which wasn't successful. That was from another team, but the right eye isn't fixable, but the left one's done very nicely. Vision of Islands is a group of volunteers who give their time, and we travel on a yearly basis to Tuvalu and more recently to Tonga. When I come to the Pacific Islands, I see people with much more advanced progression of diseases. Particularly in Tuvalu, their cataracts get so extreme that they then get glaucoma, which blinds the eyes. Our team is highly regarded. It's certainly well regarded by the native peoples of Tuvalu and Tonga, but more importantly, I think our team is just remarkable. Cheryl Fiora is a registered nurse from Adelaide, and she's been with me in all my recent trips to Tonga and Tuvalu. Lou Kuipert is an optometrist. Lou works the old-fashioned way and does refraction assessment by using a retinoscope rather than relying on machinery to do the job. He's very accurate, and he sits down and he works through the people, and he can pick out the various problems because he's been around for a long time and he's very wise, and he knows how to deal with all the eye problems. Mia Zhang, she came along and became a very competent member of our team. She was a final year medical student. Last year she stepped up to the mark and became the anaesthetist for the trip and put in all the local anaesthetics for the operations and helped out in the clinics. She's always on the go and copes with a lot. And this year she's stepped up and become an instrument nurse, scrubbing for all the cases and hoping to become an ophthalmologist, that is, eye surgeon. My name is John Willoughby. I'm an eye surgeon from South Australia, practicing at the edge of the Barossa Valley in Gawler. Most of my work involves doing cataract surgery, treating people with diabetic eye disease and glaucoma. I first got interested in eyes in 1975 and moved to England and did my eye training for a year and a half in England, a further 3.5 years in Australia. And I changed my work from being Adelaide city-bound to moving to the country in 1996. And at the changeover time, my workload lessened because I wasn't well known in the country, and it took a little while to build up. And so I volunteered for a vacancy in the Pacific Island project and came to Tonga to do my first eye surgery in November of '96. From '96 to 2006, I've led a team which is 2 doctors, and in that time we've done 500 cataract operations and about 1,500 laser treatments, and seen 20,000 patient visits and given away probably 20,000 pairs of glasses.
And after working with John and the whole Vision of Islands team, it's just amazing to see what they do. So they give up, a significant portion of their free time, and they plan this trip, for the entire year. And I can really see that, they love what they do. And during this trip, I really get to experience that as well. And it makes me feel like I've found something that I'd enjoy doing for the rest of my life as well. So I've really found that this has been an eye-opening experience for me, and something that I've, found the beauty in what they do.
In the last 7 years, when I've been going to Tuvalu, I've done an average of 50 cataract operations each visit, and we do some laser treatments. The cataracts in Tuvalu are far more severe. Nobody gets to that degree of loss of vision with a cataract in Australia, except in very rare circumstances. And secondly, they're occurring at an average age of 53, whereas cataracts I see in Australia be average age 75, 78, so 25 years difference. And we try and blame that on exposure to sunlight and maybe also to diabetes. We're just wondering whether it's a vitamin deficiency caused by the loss of their root crops due to rising sea levels and soil degradation. Tongans have a very high degree of diabetic retinopathy. Now, Tonga, 1 person in 3 is diabetic, but they're usually atrociously diabetic. They've been fierce warriors in the past and they have a tradition of eating huge meals, and these days with westernisation of their diet, the meals are being very toxic. Phacoemulsification is the gold standard for eye surgery in Australia, and I believe all the Pacific Islanders deserve the same, and I've proven that you can, for a small outlay, provide this type of service using the generosities of some of the companies who provide surplus stock towards this charity. Basically, we break up the lens with a miniature jackhammer, vacuum clean out all the product of that, which is a bit like pea soup, I guess, and then we vacuum clean the last of the lens material away until there's just a transparent nest, which is the old lens's wrapper to put the new lens in. The new lens is put in folded and unwraps like a butterfly opening its wings once it's inside the eye. This technique gives very quick visual rehabilitation, so the next day people generally can see extremely well. Sometimes the only limitation is the fact their pupil remains a bit dilated from all the drops they had the day before, but the cornea is usually very clear and the eye is pretty robust. It's a very safe state for the eye to be in, whereas some other surgery with bigger incisions is a bit vulnerable to if you press on it or rub it.
The patients here are absolutely, they're so resilient. They're very upbeat as well. So in general, you know, when we go into theatre, I find that, you know, maybe back at home, there's a lot more anxiety going on. Perhaps it's to do with your health literatures and how well you know or understand what's going on. But everyone here has a very positive outlook on life.
Our success rates are well over 90% see really well. Some people see 6.6, which is the 100% line the next day, but a lot get, say, 6.12, which is a couple of lines worse, but far better than their vision, which is normally not able to see the chart at all.
It's amazing to find your sight back again. I remember before in here in Tonga, people, when they lose their sight, it's lost forever. You need your grandchildren to take you around, but not anymore now with technology. And you know, and once again, I'm so glad that this group came over. And this kind of operation is expensive, but we had some free operation, and now we have eyes for Christmas now.
There was the example of a lady who, as I saw her in one of her eyes, I can't remember which one, she had light perception only, which means that she can recognise day from night, that's about it. She had a cataract operation, came and saw me next day, took the patch off, did a bit of a clean up, and she read, 5 minutes later, the very bottom line on the chart, 6.6.
After I had the first operation, I was really happy. I was really happy that I was able to see the people around me, especially families, and also able to do just the little chores that I used to do. Now that I have my left eye done, I feel happy and glad and thankful that I'm able to regain vision in both my eyes.
I would really like to acknowledge how important it is to work with the island staff. Most of them are very skilled. They have an incredible knowledge base when it comes to eyes. But the way that we can work in together is probably the most important aspect of us getting our job right. And they're so helpful and they're so gorgeous. They're just lovely, lovely people.
Being close to the equator and being an island nation, they get a double hit of UV light, if you like, directly from the sun, and then also reflected off the water, off the sand. And so they, apart from maybe some other considerations in diet, they have high exposure to UV. So we give them a really good quality, quite durable wraparound sunglass, so that the side light, etc., is blocked as well. So we would like to do that even from the young age of the people that live in Tuvalu, but it's a pretty big project. But everybody that gets a cataract operation walks out with a pair of sunglasses, and most people that we see do end up with a pair of sunglasses.
My name is Claire Whelan, and I'm the Health Planning and Management Advisor to the Ministry of Health here in Tuvalu, contracted by Scope Global through a DFAT-funded PACTAM program. Eye care is a basic care. It's one of our sight is one of our senses, and without that, a lot of people fail to have a good quality of life. So the work that Dr. John Willoughby does is immediate. People go into theatre, they can't see, they come out and they take their eye patches off and they can't see. That's change of life stuff. That's stuff that just doesn't happen every day, and we need to continue to provide those types of services.
I think dealing with the local patients is more special because I get the opportunity to be with them pre-operatively and post-operatively and intra-operatively. So I can see the difference within a few hours, and I can see the smiles on their faces. I can have the hugs, I can have the direct contact, and the appreciation that they have is incredible, and I can see a difference in their life instantly, and that's what I love.
We put our knowledge into practice, and with the help of this team, we are able to give people a better vision to see. What more can you ask for that? That's dream come true.
As a very small developing nation in the Pacific, the budget here in Tuvalu for health, even though it's in terms of GDP is good, we still do not have enough budget to pay specialist doctors to come. So we do really rely on people like Dr. John Willoughby and his team to come, but they come voluntarily, and we would really love if there are some corporate entities out there or some other agencies out there who value such work that these teams do, if they can just help out a little bit and give what they can, so that Dr. John Willoughby and his team can continue to come to Tuvalu at least once a year.
Thank you from the people from Australia. Do a good job. Good job.
My vision for the future is to have a boat capable of carrying all the equipment to go to each island group in turn, serving their needs, giving out the glasses and doing the surgery, and then moving on to the next port of call in places where planes don't fly and where the patients often have extreme difficulty ever getting seen.